Committee on Military, Veterans, and Homeland Security will come to order. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll to establish a quorum?
Chair Conlon.
Here.
Representatives Coleman.
Here.
T. Carter.
Present.
Stone.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Wagella.
Here.
Markinen. Bazat.
Here.
Martin. St. Germain.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have 8 members present and a quorum.
Representative St. Germain moves to adopt the minutes from the September 12th, 2023 meeting. Seeing no objections, the minutes are approved. Today, we will be voting out the disabled veterans property tax exemption bills that we heard testimony on last week, as well as hearing testimony on and voting out House Concurrent Resolution 4. We are aware that there are another set of bills in local government on the reimbursement for this exemption, and those discussions are ongoing, but do not affect us today. Before we take a final vote on Senate Bills 176, 330, and 364, there are amendments to both Senate Bill 176 and 330. The amendment to SB 176 offered by Rep. T. Carter is a technical fix as suggested by the Department of Treasury. We will need to vote on the passage of that amendment. Representative Coleman makes a motion. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon.
Yes.
Representatives Coleman.
Yes.
T. Carter.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Wagella.
Yes.
Markinen. Bazat.
Yes.
Martin. St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. The amendment is adopted. Now to vote out Senate Bill 176S3 as amended. Representative Wagella makes the motion to report the bill from committee. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon.
Yes.
Representatives Coleman.
Yes.
T. Carter.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Wagella.
Yes.
Markinen. Bazat.
Yes.
Martin. St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. Senate Bill 176S3 as amended is reported with recommendation. Next, the amendment to SB 330 as offered by Rep. Stone allows local assessors to audit a property within the 3-year period only if there is a reasonable suspicion that the veteran spouse is no longer eligible for the property tax exemption. We will need to vote on the amendment to Senate Bill 330. Representative Coleman makes a motion. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon.
Yes.
Representatives Coleman.
Yes.
T. Carter.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Wagella.
Yes.
Markinen. Bazat.
Yes.
Martin. St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. The amendment is adopted. We will now be voting on Senate Bill 330 S1 as amended. Representative Wagella makes the motion to report the bill from committee. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon.
Yes.
Representatives Coleman.
Yes.
T. Carter.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Wagella.
Yes.
Markinen. Bazat.
Yes.
Martin. St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. Senate Bill 330 S1 as amended is reported with recommendation. On to Senate Bill 364. We will need a motion to refer Senate Bill 364 S1. Representative Bazat makes the motion. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon.
Yes.
Representatives Coleman.
Yes.
T. Carter.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Wagella.
Yes.
Markinen. Bazat.
Yes.
Martin. St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. Senate Bill 364 S1 is reported with recommendation. Up next on the agenda is House Concurrent Resolution 4. The committee will go at ease. Call of the chair.
Committee will come back to order. Chair Conlon offers House Concurrent Resolution 4. Go ahead.
Thank you, Majority Vice Chair Coleman and members of the committee for allowing me to testify to House Concurrent Resolution 4. With me today, I have Thomas Horton, a member of the Army Reserve. Thank you for being here. HC4 urges Congress to allow reservists and members of the National Guard to receive partial or full active duty pay in addition to disability funds from the VA. The resolution language states the current scope of the problem. Federal statute prohibits individuals serving in the National Guard or the military reserves from simultaneously receiving VA disability compensation and active service pay. As a result, members of the reserves or National Guard must waive either their VA disability compensation or their active duty pay for full-time training and drills. And the government may take back any excess payments these service members receive. For those who wish to serve their nation and may otherwise be able to do so despite receiving disability benefits, they must choose between giving up said benefits or opting into active duty pay. This poses a significant financial dilemma for many veterans and dissuades them from making the choice to serve. The least we could do is offer our veterans the opportunity to serve while receiving the disability benefits to which they have already been entitled. I will now pass the mic over to Thomas, who is also able to answer any questions that members may have. Thank you again for allowing me to testify.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. I'm very grateful to be able to be here today. My name is Sergeant Thomas Horton, the dispatcher for the headquarters platoon of the PLS Motor Transportation Unit located in Fort Custer, Augusta, Michigan, 401st Transportation Company. I do not speak for my company, but I'm here to tell you about just some of the realities that serving as a reservist in the state of Michigan. I serve my unit with pride, and on most days, I believe our outfit is one of the best motivated out of the 645th Regional Support Group. However, as many of you may already be aware, our access to certain health benefits in the service can be limited, and this is doubly sure and doubly true as a part-timer in the reserves. About 1 in 10, perhaps even more of the soldiers in my company, just my company alone, hold some kind of disability rating. We have veterans from both Iraq and Afghanistan. We have former tank operators with the M1 Abrams, and even a few NCOs that have served since the 70s, my platoon sergeant included. As a result of their time in service, some have limited mobility, and we often get to see that during our physical fitness tests that we hold on the weekends. And several others have PTSD. And of the soldiers in my unit, I know with certainty that most of those disabilities are service-connected. Unfortunately, TRICARE, which is the Army insurance available to soldiers, is not free for reservists. And to get to the crux of the matter, if you're still healthy enough to come to drill, well, our soldiers won't receive any kind of disability payment to help them cope with their injuries, whether they're mental or physical. So those soldiers will still limp to physical fitness tests and grit their teeth to get it through. They'll come to inspect their vehicles, fire their weapons, and they'll take care of each other the best they can. But when they get home, they may not have enough money to pay for everything they need to get better, but they will still weather on because that's what soldiers do. Today, the need we have to ensure drilling soldiers who may have a disability rating but nevertheless serve our great nation to the best of their ability deserve something more than they presently have. And that's why I've come with the chair here to support and answer any questions about our experiences to this resolution. Thank you.
Well, thank you both. Are there any questions from the committee members? Rep. Bazat?
Not a question, just thanks for everything you do for our country. It's much appreciated.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rep. Rogers?
Thank you. Could you comment, either one of you comment on where this is at federally and if legislation has been introduced at the federal level?
I can't cite it right here because I printed out the data and left it in the office, but there is a federal statute that discusses how soldiers receive disability pay versus drill pay. I can work with your office to get that exact statute, but at present, I'm not familiar with any federal legislation that's currently in the process.
Representative Stone.
Thank you. Do we have an estimate about how many Michigan reservists would be impacted by this legislation?
I've not made such an estimate, but I can tell you just from my unit alone, one company of, I believe there's at least 220,000 soldiers in the state of Michigan, either serving actively or as a reservist. Don't quote me on that, that's my estimate. But I believe that just out of my company alone, of just a little over 90 soldiers, we have at least, I want to say between 15 and 20 individuals that have some kind of disability or disability rating that this could benefit.
Anyone else? Well, thank you both for your testimony. We appreciate you. The committee will go at ease.
The committee will come to order. Thank you, members and those in attendance, for taking the time to hear my resolution. We do have somebody here. We have Tim Paxson with the American Legion, Department of Michigan, who would like to speak. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Actually, I was going to speak to the other three. And you actually made my point. There's a number of bills on the issue of how the counties or the local taxing units are going to get repaid. And I went back to 2021, and these are just some of the bills that have been, I don't have them all, that have been submitted since 2021. I've been involved in this since 2019 with the Senator's office, and for some reason, I didn't keep the 19 and the 20s. But the bottom line, there's been changes in here. They're all approaching it differently, but the problem is that they contradict some of the things in these bills that were just moved to the floor. Other than that, I want to thank everybody for all your work you do for veterans, and the chair has been exceptional in working with us on issues. Thank you again, Madam Chair.
Thank you for being here today, Tim. Appreciate it.
Thank you. No
Thank you for
questions.
your service. Okay, Representative Stone moves to report HCR4 with recommendation. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Conlon,
Yes.
Representatives Coleman,
Yes.
T. Carter,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Wagella,
Yes.
Markinen,
Yes.
Mazat,
Yes.
Martin, St. Germain.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, 0 pass.
Thank you. House Concurrent Resolution 4 is reported with recommendation. And we have more cards to read. HCR4 in support, Sergeant Banla Ashoka. HC4 support bill, Sergeant Mannix William. HC4 in support, Sergeant Melvin Zachary. HC4 in support, SPC Patterson, Olivia Patterson. HC4 in support, Bao Fan. HCR4 in support, SPC Russell Holmes. HCR4 in support, Special Thomas Robinson. HCR4 in support, Kelly Riley. HCR4 in support, Cole Romig. HCR4 in support, Garrett Patnud. HCR4 in support, Sergeant Thomas Horton. HCR4 in support, Dylan Barker. HCR4 in support, Jack Devine with the Michigan Commanders Group. HCR4 in support, Jim Sigmu with the Military Officers Association of America, Michigan chapter. Sorry if I got your last name wrong there. And HCR4 in support, Tim Paxson. Thank you, American Legion Department. Yeah, we need a motion to excuse Representative, oh, forget it. Oh, he's here. Okay, seeing no further business before the committee is adjourned.